Hello, everybody. Good to see you all again. We are back chatting live, and today I am here with Camper Christina. How you doing, Christina?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. What you been up to
Good.
today? I saw pictures you were out in your backyard. So hopefully this picks up right where it was. Are we live? Are we live? Everybody watching, are we live? We had an internet interruption during that. Let's see. I think we are live. It looks like we are live now. We're back.
Don't you live in the city? I'm surprised that happened to you. It wasn't
Ah,
me.
it happens. It's
I even unplugged my Roku. I was like really good. I'm like trying to make it work because I have problems with this
one of
living
these
in the city.
days this will be perfect. We've had some kind of technical issue every single time, but that's what happens when
Oh
you go
well,
live.
get it over with.
Yeah. So let's talk about what you do. You've got your obviously you camp. You've got your blog, Camper Christina, and your YouTube channel. Uh,
Yep.
when and how did you get into backcountry camping?
Oh, my first backcountry trip was in 2001.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. And at the time, I had a boyfriend who wanted to go. And so we did a bunch of trips. And I went to the library and I studied and I took out books and I learned like how many calories you needed a day to like get done a portage. Like I really, and I didn't really know how to canoe paddle very well either. So I took out a video and I had like a gift wrap roll. I was like practicing on the couch, and I went on my first trip. I absolutely loved it, and then I went on a bunch more trips, and then we broke up. And then I didn't go on a lot of trips after that. I was kind of like here and there, and I really wanted to keep going, but I didn't have people to go with. My girlfriends were all having babies and getting married and camping. Ew, there's no shower, and yeah, so I kind of got back into it in the year I started my blog. I think it was 2015.
Cool.
What's Canada had a contest. I don't know if you know about that. They
Well,
were looking for two explorers
yes, I remember
to.
that. I sent in something for that too. That would have been fun.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I it took me a month to get my what I call my outdoors resume together because I had all my little pink slips from all the trips I'd done, and so I made a resume of everywhere I'd been and all the canoe trips I've gone on, and everything that I've done. And I didn't win, obviously. I actually became good friends with one of the girls who did win Melba. She just had a baby.
Oh
Congratulations,
wow.
Melba, if you're and yeah, I just all of a sudden I was like, I don't need to win a contest to do what I love to do, right? So I started slow and I started doing like backpacking trips and day paddles, and I did my first solo trip in 2015. It was September. I was terrified. I'm scared of the dark. So it was really tough. I had like glow sticks and called my mom. I got through it. I think I only slept like 5 hours that night. There was a big storm. It was dark out, no moon. And after that, I just started doing more and more. My second trip was actually a winter trip
Oh really?
in the teepee hot tent that I made, my first hot tent of three that I have now. And yeah, after that, I just kind of started going more and more and getting used to it. And now most of my trips are solo trips, and I love going out by myself. It's great.
Going out by yourself is amazing. I mean, I guess it's probably the same for a lot of people. It's you've gone with friends, and then all your friends just don't want to go anymore, and you're like, well, crap, I got to keep going.
Yeah,
And yeah, it
yeah.
is scary. It even now, even though I'm experienced at it, there's still where you're lying in your tent at night and you hear sounds, and you go, what is that? Like it can keep you up still.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember I did a trip. It was like I was pushing it. It was like December, and I did a canoe trip, and it was snowing.
Oh wow.
And I heard thunder snow, I think they call it. It was really scary. I never heard it before.
Yeah.
Basically, snow all stuck up in the trees, and then the wind would blow, and it was knocking all the snow and hitting the ground.
Oh wow.
It sounded like there was a moose or something running towards my tent. I was so scared.
That's
I had
amazing.
never heard that before. So,
The
are we still on?
Yeah,
You can
we're still
actually.
good. I'm just wondering,
Okay.
as any, by the way, anybody who's watching, if you got any questions, feel free to ask. We got a bunch of people here. No questions yet. We got as Gail. Uh, I don't know how to
Hi,
say your
Gail.
name. Is it Cool Quest? Tom,
Yes,
Vicky, yes. Adventures with
American and the
Josie,
Canadian.
Tash. We got Gail. We got a bunch of people watching. So yeah, if you got questions for
Cool.
us, please feel free to ask anything you want to ask. Now we met in the winter. What winter was that? Was that your first year or second year at camp? Because that was back at least probably almost 5 years ago. Remember, we were at that little
Yes,
spot by the
yes.
falls near.
You camped on the campsite that I camped on first backcountry trip with the teepee.
Okay.
And that was the trip that I realized that I couldn't do backcountry trips with the teepee, and that's when I decided to build a second hot tent. So
Cool.
you were on that campsite. Who was I with?
You were on your own.
You
You
and Tim
came.
were on the
Yeah.
campsite by the waterfalls.
Yes. Yes.
And I was like, what is that? Because you had your tent style, right?
No, at that time I didn't.
No, you
I was
didn't.
just in my little two man tent, my old mech two
Yeah.
man tent,
And
and
we chit chatted,
yeah,
and I don't know when that was, if that was New Year's or if it
it
was.
was probably could have been between Christmas and New Year's, or maybe in January. I can't remember. Yeah, but that was a while back. So that was before you went with your teepee.
I camped with the teepee
Because you were.
at New Lake in the
Oh,
campground.
okay, so maybe you were in it
I didn't
then.
actually camp in it. I brought it to hang out and have drinks in because I didn't have the security. I wasn't sure if it was going to keep me warm, so I actually camped in my summer tent with a space heater.
Oh, okay.
That was the minus 42 family day weekend.
Was it? Wow.
So,
I can't remember it being that cold
and
for
the
us up
first
there,
the
but
first time I brought it was New Year's.
wow, cool.
I think I met you before that
It
because
might have been. Maybe you were just going for a hike or something. Yeah.
yeah, I don't. Was it snowy?
Yeah, it was winter. We were camped in the snow, so
Yeah.
yeah,
So it could have been 2015, 2016.
well, that's pretty cool.
Been a while.
Yeah, and then so since then you're so actually did you do any cold tenting this winter? Because I think of you as a
I
hot
just did a
tenter.
cold tenting 3 weeks ago now.
Nice.
Before the chaos. I'm not going to talk about the chaos, but before the chaos started.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
camping. Tim and I were camping up 2 days before the park closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really wish we had been like deep, deep, deep back country where nobody could have got in touch with us, and we're out there for weeks.
I'm
That would
sure
have
they
been
would have
great.
found you somehow.
Maybe. Oh, we got a question for you. Um, where did you find your plans to make your hot tents? Because obviously you've made how many have you made now? Three.
Three. Three, yeah. The teepee was the first one. It has 9 steel poles and it weighs like with the stove 101 pounds. So I took it to that site by the waterfalls at Mew. I was told by Harvey that it's not technically a designated summer site, so you're allowed to camp there in the winter. So
It's a weird site.
uh,
It's got an outhouse, and it's kind of a site, but
good
it's
enough
not.
us.
It's right on the edge of the trail, which doesn't even match the
Yeah.
criteria for winter camping. But whatever.
Yeah, so I tried to bring the stuff out and I could. Like I brought it out, but I almost died. Like it was so heavy. So that's when I made the second one. And then I made the third one as a bigger one for friends to come because the solo, I call it the solo now, the baby hot tent it's only 8.5 by 8.5. It's very small.
Yeah,
It's got a pole in the middle and Sue and I can sleep in it together, but it's really tight.
yeah. I think
And,
we were camping that weekend you first tried that out at Mew. We came over and
yeah,
checked it out,
yeah, that's right.
and
Um,
it was like
so
40 degrees in your tent.
Yeah, it was. I was wearing a tank top. Remember, there's a picture you posted for the chat.
Yes, yeah,
I
that
think the
picture on the.
question was where I got my plans.
Oh yeah, your plans for it. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I just made it up. I mean, it's not the teepee. I found online, and I have that posted in the blog post. I actually have a blog post on the teepee and not a video. The baby hot tent. I have the pattern on both, and it's just a pyramid, just basic pyramid, 4 triangles, very simple. And the bigger one is 2 rectangles and 2 triangles. So it's just really simple, basic geometry.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
no real pattern
let's see. Oh,
except for the
let's catch up on some questions, but they're getting ahead of us here. Any
okay.
plans to make a series of camp cooking videos? I've thought about it myself, but I don't cook a lot. I'm very lazy, so I bring a lot of easy to cook stuff. So if you want to see
Yeah.
me just heating up food, that's
Is
mine.
that question for you?
It's for either of us. I'm
Okay,
assuming
because
it is for either of us.
I have a camper
Yeah, you
Christina
do.
cooks
Yeah.
series. So I'm actually going to be adding probably a lot of those videos in the next couple of weeks because I'm not going to be able to go out camping or doing much outdoor stuff. So I have a whole bunch of them sitting in the queue, and I have had so many trip videos that I haven't been able to post them. So there's a whole bunch of them coming up if that's what you're interested in. They don't get a lot of views actually, but I still really like them and I like to post them. So
By the way, anybody watching, subscribe to Christina's channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel if you wouldn't mind. That'd be great. And just what I've been doing, because we're stuck inside, I've been watching other people's and even my own, just putting them on like a playlist and just watching it. It's
yeah,
relaxing. It feels like, I mean,
yeah.
it's partially depressing because you're not out there, but it is still nice to see the stuff
I
that's out there.
watched the Northern Scavengers, their last two videos that they put out, 4 and 5, yesterday, and oh wow, they're great. They're just great videos. There's some really good drone shots in there, and it might have to be something I might have to purchase at some point because wow, those pictures are stunning.
Yeah, yeah. Did you start off your backcountry camping in your kayak or your canoe, and which one do you like better? You.
Such a battle. Love kayaking. I have most of my training in kayaking. The reason being is because at the time, like solo canoeing wasn't really a thing. And it was never anything that I really thought, it was always just, oh, I need someone else to go on a canoe trip with. I never thought of doing it by myself. It was just not, I don't know if anybody else was doing it at the time and I just didn't know about it, but it was just not something that I thought existed. So I said, well, if I'm going to get out on the water, then I have to have a kayak. So I got my first kayak 2005, I think it was 2004. Outdoors oriented at the time. The owner, Jamie, was doing the courses, and I did my basic course, and then I went on later a few years ago to do my level 1, my level 2, and my basic instructor with Ontario Sea Kayak. So I feel very, very comfortable in a kayak, going out in Georgian Bay, stuff like that. I don't really have any fear. It's very hard to get to the places that I love with a kayak, though. Other than Georgian Bay, and Georgian Bay is even tricky because there's speedboats and there's sea-doos, and I don't like sharing my water with motor anything, right? Like when I go into the backcountry, I want to be like way in there. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to see boats. So portaging and canoeing is my thing. I mean, if I could paddle a kayak in there, I would. But the unpacking and the packing
Yeah.
and it's
I
work,
had
right?
actually considered getting a kayak before I got my canoe,
Yeah,
and that was exactly the reason I didn't. They're way heavier because
yeah.
even if they're made of the same light material, you've now got a deck, so that's practically double the material right there. And then yeah, the packing and unpacking just too much
I
work.
think my Delta weighs 54 pounds,
Wow.
and the solo boat that I used last year from H2O weighs 30
Yeah.
pounds.
Oh, I'm
So, and
dying
then
to get out in mine.
the time to pack and unpack it, it's just so time
Yeah,
consuming,
I'm dying to get out
you
in the
know?
one that I just got, the cruiser from Swift. That it's
Oh, yeah.
25 pounds. This is
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
It's
That's
fantastic.
nice. I've got a video coming up. I'm going to be using 3 different boats from H2O this
Oh,
year.
nice.
Hopefully. And there's some, I think one of them is 17 pounds or something like that. It's a pack boat. So I got a video coming out about that too. I've been holding it until the links can go up on the Front Neck Outfitters page. So,
Cool.
but I'm really excited. Hopefully I get to try them and I get to use them this year. We don't really know what's going to happen. So
Do you have a preference on what season you camp in?
summer,
Yeah.
September. September is my favorite month, probably next to August. A lot of people say they love September because that's when the bugs go away. But I don't know. Camping in Samogamy, I don't really find that the bugs ever really go away. When you're in the bush, you get bitten. But I would probably say September is my favorite. I love hot weather,
Yeah.
sunshine, and
That's why
the
your hot
bugs.
tents are like 40 degrees inside.
Well, yeah, but it's so little too,
That one,
right?
yeah, I
That
know.
was a baby solo tent, so 8 by 8. I mean, you put that stove in there, and I think I had the other stove. I had the bigger stove in
I
there when
think
I
so,
took it on the
yeah.
trial.
Yeah.
So and then I downgraded to the smaller size, the next size down to the junior, and that's been not as hot.
That's cool. Do
So,
you ever do backpacking?
I do. I just did a backpacking trip. Actually, the cold camping backpacking trip I did was
Hmm.
um,
Backpacking, because you. How did I?
yeah.
Oh, we lost it again. We lost our signal again. What
Oh
the heck is
no.
going on? We frozen. Yeah, let me
I
continue
thought I was
broad.
going to
Oh
have a
wait,
problem with
continue
my
broadcast. It
internet.
might be. We might be back. Hello, everybody. Are we back again? We lost signal again. I don't know why.
It's not
That's
me.
not you. No, it's this end. Oh, it's coming back.
Which is
It's coming back.
depressing.
Yeah, we lost our signal. We're back. We are back. Let's see. Do you guys use dry bags or canoe packs or both? I use usually one backpack and then
Yeah,
maybe a couple of
same.
dry bags if I'm taking extra gear. My food is
Yeah.
usually in its own dry bag because it's hard to fit that in my backpack.
If I'm doing tripping trips, canoe tripping trips, I use an Ursack for my food because it fits into my pack.
Hmm.
I have two backpacks actually exactly the same kind. I got them for $40 each
Oh,
when I
nice.
worked in the products industry in 2001, and I'm still using that same backpack. I love it. It's a Europe bound or something. And I recently found out that they're still in business
Yeah,
and they
cool.
still have backpacking packs. I've tried to contact them a few times, but never heard back from them. But I only use a dry bag for my clothes usually in there, and everything else I put in Ziplocs or those reusable bags.
Tash asking, same position as you in 2001. Want to go in the back country but don't have any experience beside paddling with and no friends to want to go. Any advice where to begin? You can,
Take some classes. Where
yeah.
to go or how to?
You're talking about where to begin in terms of learn. It depends how experienced you are paddling. If you experienced enough and you're confident to paddle your canoe on your own, go on your own. It's just a little bit more weight. Well, it depends if you shared carrying the canoe, if you carried it solo anyway.
Yeah,
But you got to be confident in what you're doing in a canoe because paddling solo in a canoe is, especially if it's windy, is really
yeah.
tricky.
Start with day trips. Always start small. Don't do anything crazy. I've had a few people that have like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this trip and it's got 5 portages and I've never paddled a canoe by myself. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Halliburton Water Trails is a great place to go if you're just starting out. It's very small. There's a whole bunch of different little lakes you can go to. You can be really close to your car. You have a signal. I like that area. Massasauga, too, good area. Just start out. Don't do anything crazy. Just baby steps. Take your time. Make sure you got a signal. Make sure people know where you're going.
Yeah.
And courses. Education is amazing. Like I was paddling wrong for 15 years in a kayak. I took the course and then I forgot it all when I started back again. And when I went to take my level one, I failed on my forward stroke. I had to go back 3 months later and do a video and send it to them because I was paddling all wrong. And you learn the wrong things and the confidence that it gives you to, even with the level one kayaking, I don't know about canoeing, but they teach you backcountry tripping stuff,
Nice.
like how to pack your gear and what to take and all that kind of stuff. So I really gained a lot of confidence from doing courses and wilderness first aid, my canoe. I've got my one door, like all that stuff really gives you a lot of confidence. And when you go out, you feel like you're qualified to be out there by
Yeah.
yourself. It really helps
I
a
actually
lot,
need
I
to,
think.
now that I've got that cruiser where I'm using the kayak paddle, I need to learn that because
Yeah,
I'm used to a canoe paddle. I usually do have a canoe paddle with me. I find that more
yeah.
relaxing. But
James and Dempna from Ontario Sea Kayak have a great video on
oh
YouTube
yeah,
about how to do the proper forward stroke. You should
right,
never be bike pedaling.
right.
Always a side to side motion. And if you're in a canoe, you should have a longer paddle
Yes, for
so
sure.
that
So
it
you don't get wet.
works better. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's your scariest moment being backpacking on your, or not necessarily back in the backcountry by yourself? I got to think of what mine would be too. What's the scariest moment?
It would probably be my first trip or uh the Obaba loop was that's tough. That's more scary.
I find
Yeah, I would say
it's not been so much.
probably my first solo trip, just
Yeah,
because of being afraid of the dark.
yeah, and I think for me it's just the nervousness. It's your mind when you're lying in your tent and you hear those sounds, and
Yeah,
you picture a
that's
bear as like 10 times bigger than it actually is in real
yeah,
life, and it's not. I mean, I've encountered two bears this last year, and the second one was really close, like maybe 20 meters away, and it just ran away. As soon as it
wow,
heard me coming, it was like a cannonball going through the forest. And that gave me a lot of confidence that that's what they're going to most likely do. They're going to be running
yeah,
away from you. So I'm not really too scared of the animals, although, again, I can still convince myself, and get a little nervous at night. Maybe the
yeah.
scariest was once when I was backpacking. I was coming out and a thunderstorm was coming. Like, it was like really dark in the forest. That was that heavy a thunderstorm. And I was in rain gear and I was just hiking and getting soaked. And there was two things that happened. There was this crash of thunder, which at the exact same time as the flash. So that means that lightning hit somewhere really, really close. Like, you could almost feel the pressure. And then a little further along the trail, a tree actually fell down right across the trail in front of me. But
Oh,
I was just frustrated by the rain that I just kept going. It's like, okay, tree fell
yeah,
down. Who cares? I'm, just keep going.
yep. So your story reminded me of a scary time that I have. Fun fact, though, I've never seen a bear in the backcountry in all of my years of backcountry camping. Only a car camping at Mule Lake. But my very first 5 day solo that I did in Algonquin, I got stuck on a portage, thunder and lightning. Same thing. I think it was Mouse Lake. I was trying to cross, and I think I sat there under my canoe, soaking wet in the pouring rain for an hour.
Wow.
And then it finally started dissipating, and I jumped in the canoe and I started paddling, and then the lightning started again, and I was freaking out. But I made it to my site, and yeah,
It
it
is
was
a
a
little
really
scary
scary.
when there's a thunderstorm and you're out. If you're on the lake, you
Yeah,
got to get to shore because it's not good to be out there. And then
yeah.
last August, Tim and I were paddling down Sunday Creek, and that's when the beaver took all the water away. It took us 5.5 hours to hike through this marsh, and we're in the middle of this
I
open
remember that.
marsh, and a thunderstorm came, and you're like, what? We're just
Yeah.
stuck.
What do you
And
do?
yeah, at that point, you're just like, well, if we get struck, we get struck. Like, same thing at night. Thunderstorms at night can be a little scary.
Yeah, I like them.
Well, it is kind of cool, but my
I
thinking
like
has
storms
always
at night.
been, you know what? If it hits you, it hits you. Like, there's not much else you're gonna be able to do.
Well, you're already on top of your thermarest, so you're good. Right? I mean,
No,
that's the
no.
insulation.
That's,
They say if a thunderstorm comes or lightning, I think you're supposed to get on top of a rest or
well,
something like
one of the
rubber or
things you
mat.
can do in a thunderstorm, if you're reading up on thunderstorms, what to do, almost every single thing tells you get in a car or in a building, and there's none of those around out here. But if you sort of crouch down on your feet with your feet together, you want your feet together so that if a charge, let's say, hits a tree and comes through the ground, it's not, if your feet are apart, it'll hit one leg, go up through your body and out the other. That's not good. You don't want a charge going across your heart. So you keep your feet together and you crouch.
Right.
However, most experts will also tell you that, like, in your tent, you can't really do that. So you're probably still better off in your tent, sheltered, because you're going to get hypothermia out in the rain rather than. So yeah, my thinking is if it strikes you, you get struck. What?
I think it's another one of those, like, if it ever happens,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
That's
Like,
um. Oh, here you go. Kayak question. When packing your kayak for a trip, how do you decide which storage compartments you're going to use for each of your equipment pieces?
hmm. I've been packing my kayak the same way pretty much since my first trip. Everything has a place, and it's just because that's where it fits best. You try to stick the long and skinny things up in the bow and the stern, right? Because it's pointy, and then the sleeping bag and the tent and that kind of stuff go like behind the seat and the bulkhead there, or in the wider part,
Yeah.
obviously, of the hatch, yeah. So
Where do you fit
I
a
have a
backpack?
video somewhere. Pardon?
If you, because obviously you got to put that stuff in a backpack to carry it. Where do you fit the backpack? Because they don't often.
No,
No.
no backpack.
Oh, you just carry it all in individual.
Tote bags,
Oh,
usually
okay.
tote bags.
Wow.
Ontario Sea Kayak suggests the IKEA ones because they're huge, but I have like really big tote bags. And again, they're all color coordinated. So the sleeping bag and the tent go in one. And then I usually end up with four, and I just put two on
Oh,
each
wow.
arm. And again, you're not really portaging, right? Like it's just to carry it to the
Yeah.
campsite or from the parking lot to the water or whatever like
Yeah.
that. I took it to the French River, the Delta, and I think I had one
Oh,
portage.
wow.
So
Do you have a
yeah,
favorite
it
piece
was.
of gear? That's a tough question. I've been trying to think what mine is, and it depends on what I'm doing and what my mood is, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. My tent keeps me dry, keeps me warm. I love the Suma too. I've been using that for 2 years now from Eureka. Seems to be a good tent. My sleeping bag, a -40. We were talking about that before the show. I use the -40 Extreme Marmot bag pretty much most of the year. It's lighter than my -9, and I get really cold at night, so I just bring it on every trip.
That's cool. I think, yeah, you know what? I really like, it's hard to say. I mean, I just got the Jet Boil this year. I
Oh, I like
really
that.
like
The
the
Mighty
Jet
Ball?
Boil. I have the
Is it
Sumo,
the Mighty
the Sumo,
Ball? Oh,
the
I
big
have the
one.
Mighty
Yeah.
Ball. Really fast.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast it is. I did
Yeah, I
I
like.
did notice, so I still don't know when Get Outside is going to premiere this season, but we did a winter camping episode, and it
Oh,
was
good. Of
-30, and
course.
the the problem with that kind of gas is it sort of freezes up a bit.
Right.
So you have to sort of heat up the thing. Even when I
Did
did
you have the
that,
black canister?
no, it was just the little red canisters.
Yeah, the black ones are the all season ones.
Oh,
They're
okay,
better in
maybe they're
winter.
better. Okay, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we didn't film it because I would not recommend people do this. But basically, we had a campfire going, and I had to sit it like about 8 inches from the fire just to keep it warm enough so that it would work. But I
Yeah.
didn't film that because I don't want to be showing people things that you probably shouldn't do, having gas canister right by the fire. But I was
Tell
keeping an
you
eye on
both.
it, so yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, so I
And
do
they
like
will
that.
tell you.
And I do like my tents too. I like all my tents. It's hard to I mean, I love my tent style tents. They're really cool. I have a North Face one person tent. Took that backpacking in Pakasaw. It's so easy to set up. 2 minutes, you're done. And I've got a few
Yeah.
Eureka tents now, and they're amazing as well. So yeah, yeah, they're all good.
Do you have the Suma too as well?
No, I have shoot, what are they called? It's I can't remember the name of it. It's
It's okay. I'll come
it's
to you.
bright green and blue.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. One man, a two man, one two.
I can't picture you in anything else but your tent style.
Oh, the tent
So
styles are nice.
yeah.
Yeah, as long as you have trees, they're really cool. Let's see. Somebody's asking, where do I recommend a first trip to Temagami? Temagami. Actually, I've never been personally, but you've been to Temagami. So where, if somebody's going to Temagami, if I want to go to Temagami, where should I go?
Well, hey, yeah, obviously depends on experience, right? And what you want to do. If you're kayaking, if you're canoeing, if you want to do a canoe trip.
Let's imagine it's me. I've got
I
my solo canoe, and I want to go somewhere where I want to get in totally away from people. Not crazy hard,
uh,
but a couple of portages
the
maybe.
first loop I did, actually, I don't know if you've seen my presentation from the Outdoor Adventure Show is on my YouTube, and it's called Exploring Temagami, and I basically talked about 8 different trips that I did in like 30 minutes. And then there's links to the full videos in case that interests you. So like, I did a trip to Blueberry Lake. It's a simple place to go. Manajigama, same. And then there's a bunch of different loops that increase in difficulty. So all the routes are there and the maps are there. And I really liked the first loop I did. I call it the Bob Lake Loop. I started out at Ferguson Bay, which is the top of Lake Temagami. Went into Diamond and then around through to Bob Lake. I did a day trip to Spirit Rock, which is much easier going in from Obabaka, but 2 portages to get in there. And then all the way down through James and Virginia and Thunder something. I wanted to stay there, but I couldn't get. It was a tough loop for the days that I did. I think I only did 3 nights that trip. And it was my first Temagami trip, but it was pretty decent. You know, I could find all the portages pretty much, and didn't die, so that's good.
That's always good.
You
Yes.
know, Temagami is a whole different bird. You know, it's maintained by volunteers mostly. A lot of portages. It's not like Algonquin. I mean, some of Algonquin it is, but I mean, they're overgrown. They're, you know, they're tough. It's a tough place to go sometimes,
Where's your
and it's hard to get information. I find that's
okay?
why I
Yeah,
never went.
yeah. Where's your
Right?
absolute favorite place, or the place that's affected you the most that you've ever been?
Probably Spirit Rock or Temagami. Like, and a Babaca loop I did was insane. That's probably my favorite trip of all time
Yep.
so far.
You've never done
It was the
Pakistan, have you?
hardest trip
Oh
I've
yeah.
ever done.
Have you
Pardon?
have you been to Pakistan? I mean
No,
I always keep talking about that. I love that place. I went
you
there
know,
over 20
I
years
want to
ago.
go to these places. People are always like, you need to go here and you need to go. And I do, I want to go to those places. But like when you're driving, like, I don't know, 10
Oh,
hours
you
or
know what?
whatever,
The drive
like
is
I'm a
worth it.
weekend warrior, right? Like I work full time. I need to do a lot of trips. I can't just go on a 2 week trip and then that's it for the whole summer,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like
true.
what am
Yeah.
I going to make a video about?
Yeah, exactly.
So I like to go every weekend, every other weekend, you know, all season.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing that, I take a Friday off here, I take a Monday off there. The place I work is seasonal mostly, so the spring, summer, and fall are busy,
Yeah.
and it's hard for me to take. Like my boss freaks out every time I, take like 2 or 3 days off. So, and I need money. I mean, I have to pay bills and stuff too.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
although I really want to go to those places, like time like this would be great because I'm not doing anything, but now we can't go anywhere. So it's tough. It's tough to do all of the things you want to do
Yeah,
for sure.
that's right. Does anybody have any other questions before we wrap up? You got
Are we
like,
done already? That was
well, we've been
fast.
going for about 35 minutes, so
Oh.
we'll wait.
Do you have any questions?
Me personally, no. I mean, I think you've answered. If we've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Do you got any questions for me?
I don't think so. What is your big trip this year? If you can get to go, I mean,
I'm going somewhere, no matter what.
Yeah.
I do want to go back up to Pakistan. If I can, end of August, beginning of September, Pakistan again. It's
Yeah.
just the most amazing place. I'd love to canoe it, but I don't think I will because you got a canoe on Lake Superior. You would have to canoe along the coast.
Yeah.
So you need to have like double or triple the time planned because you could be windbound for days. So, but
Yes.
hiking it is absolutely amazing. I did 5 days last summer, and yeah, it's totally worth the drive.
And what's the drive there like? Getting there and getting.
From where I live, just east of Toronto, 14 hours.
Yeah.
So you camp the first night in the campground, obviously, because you're not going to be able to hike anywhere. But it's cool. They make you do an orientation before they let you in the backcountry as well.
Oh, really?
Because
That's neat.
they don't monitor the trail, and it's that rough that.
Like to do like from Gamble right down like through Cabin Falls, and did we cut out again?
Oh, we cut out just for a second. I think we're back.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we're back. We're back.
Yeah, I hear that's a really tough route, and I like to do that solo. I really like to do that.
Very cool.
Solo, that trip.
Cool.
Yeah, that's my goal for this. But again, who knows, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. That's been awesome chatting. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
That's good. And anybody,
Better than
people
sitting around watching Netflix.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. Watch. So all you people watching, watch Christina's channel. Watch my channel. It's better than Netflix. Watch other people's channels too, and because we could all use the views this time, the way things are.
For sure.
But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. I'm not exactly sure when the next time will be. I may be chatting with Tim actually next Thursday.
Cool.
So
well, thanks everybody for all the great questions, and thanks for watching. And I hope you guys subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. And I love getting comments, so leave some comments. And if you have any questions, always happy to help if I can. I'm not an expert. I never claim to be, but I try to help if I can. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you all for watching. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.